Yo, JD here, and as you can see, we are back with my F1 22 Hotlap and setup series, and as we are continuing from yesterday, if you didn't see my Bahrain setup, we are proceeding in the calendar order of this game, and we arrive at Saudi Arabia, Jeddah, which is a track I have always enjoyed, particularly on the last game. It was one of my favourite tracks to drive, so I was quite excited for this one. And as usual, as I did with my first video at Bahrain, we'll be following the same format. So yeah, just talking about a few things here, then I'll be showing you a full lap uninterrupted, and then I'll be showing you the lap a second time, but we will be breaking it down in quite a bit of detail. So again, if you're finding these videos useful, please like it so I know that people are progressing with it and it's helping them out quite a bit. And yeah, I will be trying to upload a different track every single day along with other content, so make sure you subscribe for that. And yeah, one thing I really want people to pay attention to is watch my brake and throttle input. So when I'm braking, initially I do 100% quite a lot of the time, but then as I turn more into the corner, you'll notice that I come off the brakes to allow the car to rotate and to prevent it from locking up. And then with the throttle, as I'm opening up the steering wheel, so as I'm turning quite a lot, but then I'm moving the steering wheel back to the center, then you'll notice that's when I apply the throttle. And you have to be quite aggressive on the power in this game in order to get rotation in the car. So particularly pay attention to those things. So as we move on to the lap itself, I'm just going to show you it here first without pausing it or slow motion or anything at all. And then we're going to show it again where I do pick out a few key points, which hopefully should be quite beneficial to you. And the lap itself was fairly good. Definitely a little bit more time in it, but overall I was pretty satisfied with this. And the track has changed actually quite a lot from F1 21, which I actually think I prefer on this game so far itself. But yeah, setup was pretty nice, felt very stable, pretty good in a straight line. And I've actually used this online and it felt really, really good there as well. On the exit of this corner, you can see we have a little bit of a kiss with the wall there, but managed to get away with it. This chicane is actually quite different on this game, so coming through here now, cannot extend as much and abuse the curb as much as well. DRS zones have actually changed slightly as well. In the first sector, there isn't actually a DRS zone anymore. In Sector 2, there is going into that chicane. This last corner, very, very tricky. Have to be very precise with the trail braking. And as we get the DRS and come across the line, it's going to be a 127.422, which is the fastest no assists. Was enough for P4 on the leaderboard. And I was quite happy with that. But as we move to the lap now, let's break it down in more detail. So coming into this turn one, the point that I am looking at here is this 100-meter board. So as I pass this, that's why I start braking. Watch the brakes again. So as I turn more coming off it, mount quite a lot of this curb. So you can actually get away with going on this sausage curb here. But then for the second part, you want to be half on this. You want to be mounting the first part, but then kind of kissing the second part. As we unwind the steering wheel, as you can see, we're on the throttle quite aggressively, so about 50%. But as we unwind, that's where we deliver the rest of it. And then as we come into it, looking at this 50-meter ball, so just before I get that, that's why I start braking. Try and take a lot of the track on that inside. Really crucial to hook your car on this curb as well. Make sure you try and go flat out, and then come through here, completely flat out through this section. Do not let the car drift more than the middle of the track. You actually want to stay relatively tight. But then coming through to this one, really need to hook your car on the inside here, kind of like a Scale Electrics. use the curb on the exit, a big lift as we come into this corner, and then completely flat out and nice and early. So turning in much earlier than you think through the left, completely flat out. If you can't do it flat out, then you need to be going slower through the right hand of the floor. Now into this corner, one of my favourites on the track itself. Looking at the 50 meter board once again, as we pass that, that's where I start braking and turning in. Carrying a lot of speed and making sure you keep it tight. Cannot stress that enough. But then use the track on the exit. See, as we unwind the steering wheel, that's where we deliver the power. Coming into this one, a really crucial corner since we've got a massive straight. And as we look into this one, 50 meter board again. So just before we get there, make sure you hook the car on this inside. If you are not here, you are going too fast. So slow in, fast out approach. And again, make sure that your car is over this curb. If you're not, then you are going too fast. Use the track on the exit, kissing the wall. We did on this occasion, so losing just a fraction bit of time. Coming into here, the DRS zone. This has actually changed, so make sure you pay attention to your DRS line because it's quite easy to miss, so make sure you're getting the DRS there. Now going to chicane is significantly different. Look at the black box. I use this as my reference point, so as I pass that, that's why I start braking and turning. So braking quite a lot, but then go on the power very, very quickly once I get into the apex and making sure you use all of the track on the exit. Stay nice and tight here. Look for the next DRS zone, which appears just for this one. Stay nice and tight as you go into the last corner to minimize the distance of the track, gain that few hundredths of a second. And then as we come into the last corner, looking at the 100 meter board once again, as we pass that, since you're going so fast, once you pass it, that's where you want to start braking. Really get into this apex nice and early. Keep it nice and tight, third gear. And then as the wheel's straight, deliver the rest of the power, get in the DRS line, and going across the line, it's a 27.422, which, again, I was fairly satisfied with. So as we go into the leaderboards, you can see we're in the top 4, fastest no assist runner by over a tenth. I do think ABS does have a slight advantage on this game since how crucial the braking actually is. So overall, yeah, I was pretty content with that, and quite a few people have done the time trial as well. So as we move into the setup itself, so starting off with the aerodynamics, this is 2024, so slightly lower front wing. Need a bit of a lower downforce here since we've got quite a few straights, so that is very important. But the differential, 50-52, very interesting. Minus 2.6, so not quite all the way to the right because I do want a bit more of a response for the car when you go in the high speed corners. 4-1-3-1-2-3 suspension. The brakes, as you'll see in a second, are 150%, but the theme with the front being higher than the rear is a continuing theme. 150% for the brakes itself, and then maximum tyre pressures, which is going to give you the best straight line speed possible from the tyre and the most response into the high speed corners. But yeah, I will be making a setup explanation video separately quite soon. With the differential, I did experiment with 90 and 100 and I didn't really find that much difference. The reason why I've gone so low here, along with many others in the time trial, is that it just makes it much, much easier to go on the traction, and you get a little bit more rotation when you're going on the throttle. So in the high speed corners, you don't want the car to be difficult to correct. With 50% on diff, it makes it much easier for the different wheel speeds to counteract each other, which makes it easier to catch oversteer moments, which is the reason why I use it here. Really only tell 1 or 2 is the heavy traction zone. Everything else, you want the ability to catch the slide itself. So once again, I really hope you found this useful. Please like the video if you did. I will be continuing this series, so make sure you subscribe to F122 Hotlap and setups, tutorials, league racing, and many other content as well. I really hope you're enjoying the game, and I will be catching you very, very soon. Peace.